Hello guys, welcome to my channel again, Nenura. So this is us bouncing back all the way back to Coventry because we were bounced by Nigerian Immigration. We went to renew our passport, but apparently that didn't happen because we didn't go with one particular document. So I've made this video for you, and I've intentionally made this video telling you everything in details that you need if you're renewing your Nigerian passport at the Nigerian Immigration Office in London, UK. So every little document you need will be mentioned in this video. So if you want to know what you need, please do stick around and listen to this video. Thank you. Hello guys, good morning, welcome to my channel. I'm happy to be here once again. As promised, if you remember very well, we went to Nigerian Immigration I think last 2 weeks, about 8th of August, and I danced my dance of shame back home. So I'm here to clarify some issues, show you all the documents required, especially if you're going with children. I had to do this outside so I can keep an eye on my kids. As you all know, it's a holiday period, so please do ignore all the noise in the background. So first off, like the impression people say, oh, when you go to Nigerian Immigration, it's quite depressing. There are loads and loads of people there. They are very harassing at the door. I'm here to let you know that is not true. From my own experience, it was a completely different experience. Yes, we had loads and loads of people in the room, but I didn't see it. I wouldn't see the environment as depressing. I would say it was a bit calm. People were quite calm, well seated, a few children there. And they were quite lovely. And then at the door, they attended to us immediately because there wasn't a very long queue. Like I said, everybody's experience is different. There wasn't a very long queue when we came. Remember, we traveled with National Express right from Coventry. We got there about we got to London at about 10:20, and we then entered one train and dropped off we used the bus and dropped off at Trafalgar Square. So it wasn't a bad experience. We got there at about 11 o'clock. There wasn't a very long queue. As you know, some people didn't come in with the requirement, so they were sent back immediately. And we showed them our appointment letter, which was the only thing they requested at the door before they could let us in. I'll quickly show you that, what they requested from us before they let us in immediately. They didn't ask for any other thing. This is the appointment slip, and it was about 4 of them. This is my daughter. So here, this is the appointment slip that they showed us, that they asked for when you come. This is just the appointment slip saying the date that you have in your appointment and the time. So we had it at 8:22, and our appointment time is 11. Remember, it doesn't matter the time you booked your appointment. At least as of the time we went, it hasn't changed. When you get to the door, you show them this appointment slip. Remember, every day is different. Nigeria, like we know, is not very consistent for stuff. Today it can change and there won't be any announcement. They may ask you for further requirements if you have your slip, if you have your postal order and all that. But the day we went, this was just what they requested for. And immediately I showed him one of these. They let all 4 of us in. So I'll be quickly going through the requirements you need, especially if you've got children and you're trying to renew their passport or you're trying to get a new passport for them. So when you do your application online and you're applying for more than one child, remember, there must be a parent that will be applying for that child. So usually the application is quite straightforward. Yeah, there are certain things that wasn't there, especially when you're in the payment section, because we had to apply for the 3 kids. My 2 twins, they've got their passport already. It's just renewal. And then my son, who I gave birth to here, needed a new passport. So I applied with their father. My passport is still in date. I didn't need a new one. But during the payment section, it wouldn't allow him to pay pay. Why? Simply because you need to register the card that you used to pay, especially if you're paying for more than one child. I had 3 children under him. The card wouldn't go through. I tried it so many times, days, it wasn't going through. But then I just occurred to me, okay, I saw where they said register the card. So at some point you might need to register the card you need to pay for, and they will give you, like they say, 36 to 72 hours working days. But I did it today, which was on Friday. Give them Saturday and Sunday, which were not working days anyways. But by Monday evening, when I tried to pay again, it went through. So this might be one of the things you consider if you're having problems paying with your application. So you might have to register the card you're paying with before it will allow the payment to go through. They say it's to curtail fraud. So after this, one other misconception I would like to correct is there's this document, I can't remember which one, if it's the appointment slip or the acknowledgement slip, that people kept saying if you don't print it out at that very moment, you won't be able to, print it ever again. Well, what I didn't print anything out during my application. I didn't print anything out during my application. Sorry about that. What I needed to do was to download those documents. There is always a section where they say you can download. I downloaded all these documents in my on my laptop. I left it there for months. So the idea that people say, oh, you need to download, if you don't download this, there is never, probably if you don't print this out at the moment, they won't have the opportunity to print it out again. But my experience was different. I just saw where they put download, and I was able to download both this appointment slip, which is this one, and then the acknowledgement slip as well, probably the acknowledgement slip, if you have a look. And then I also downloaded the application form. All these documents I downloaded. I made this application in June, and I downloaded all the documents. I didn't print out anything. Well, a week before our appointment, that was when I went back to my laptop. Of course, when you're downloading, especially when you're applying for, like 4 people, you might want to, itemize and name these files. What I did, I had a printer at home. What I did was just to print them out. So you have this opportunity. The idea that you must, if you don't, I don't know where that perception came from. Maybe it was during the time they did, I don't know. But I'm talking of as of the time I applied, which was in June.
Mommy.
So I downloaded and then I printed them. Yeah, you can in a minute. As you can see, I'm very busy. Thank you.
Can I get the snack by myself?
What snack?
Cheese.
It's very high. I have to get it by myself. Sorry about that. You wait when I finish. So moving ahead. So I'm here to show you the documents. Like I said, I printed this out even months after my application. So moving ahead now, I'm going to list all the documents you need if you're applying for your own and you're applying for your children. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. So if I miss out anything, please do comment on the comment section. I should be able to clarify. So you need this appointment slip, which one, a Nigerian Immigration Service with the appointment slip. If you can, then go. It's right here. You need it. And then you need this passport acknowledgement slip. It's just acknowledging that you've paid. Yeah, it's just acknowledging that you have made your payment. Just list a little bit of your details here, passport information, and then underneath it saying the amount you paid. So the time we paid is $142 USD dollars to renew this passport. It's a bit windy. So it's all written in the acknowledgement slip, and then you have the application form, which is about 3 pages that you need to print. Or is it 2? I think it's 3 pages. Sorry about this, it's a bit rough and sunny as well. Yeah, it's 3 pages. I'm just going to bring out the 3 pages now. So there you go. At some point I have to staple. This is the application form. It's about 3 pages where you have at the end where they said, I think it's for the office alone, processing embassy, where you don't have to sign anything on this document, because you don't want to sign and then you're being asked that you've done it wrongly, you need to reprint and all that. They have a printing room there, which they said, but I know it's going to be expensive. So if you can, print all this before you come. There's a signature here. I didn't sign anything. I left it blank. So for when I get there, if there's need for us to sign, they will enter. Yes, please. If there's any need for us to sign, we can sign as well. And then, so these are the 3 documents you need, major documents you need. And then since we are applying for our 3 kids, they needed a name number. Now, this was the reason why we were sent back, because the kids, my husband had an NIMC number, National Identification Number, which is NIN, but my kids didn't have any. Now, this is an information you need. If you don't have it, don't even bother to go, because they're going to send you back. Now, we got into the area. We were allowed into the area. Hey, Baba. We were allowed into the area. We got in. At some point, they said, okay, we were number 239. At that point, they were in 171 as at 11 o'clock, which to me is fair. I mean, they've got that far and it's quite quick. At some point they said, okay, if you're renewing, if you're applying for a new passport, you may want to go into this room. Now, if you're a parent trying to renew your own passport, you may go into that room with your child that is that requires a new passport, and everything will be done together as a family. And I was really happy that that's what made it really quick, and we quickly went into the room. I think we're number 5 on the queue there. And it was really quick. So it was when we got in, and the guy took all the documents and then said, where are the kids' name number? And we were like staring, and we were like, name, but they're kids. They said no, because your father has got a name, you can go and request for their own name. So you have to go back, get the name, and then come back and do the processing. Now we now ask the question, do we need to book for another appointment for that? He said no. Any day we've got all these things, we can always come in and do that, as long as it's within 1 year of our application. So we left, asked them at the door where we can go and get our name. We were given a card. I can't remember. I think we had that flyer, but I can't remember. But if you ask at the door of the immigration office, they will give you direction. They will give you the flyer. They will give you the direction of where you can go and do this NIN number. It's quite a big office. From the Trafalgar Square, it's trackable. Because I had kids, it took us about 15-20 minutes to get there. But if you come in there on your own, it's not very far. It's like 12 minutes or 15 minutes walk, depending on how far you can walk. So it was there that it really took us time. So when you get there, to get the children's name, one of the you can enroll as for yourself. If you haven't had a name before, or if like my husband had a name, so what we did, they needed the children. We filled out the disclaimer form, which we were given over there, and that was where it took us roughly like 2 hours for them to do for these kids. And I think they even skipped a few people, because when we came, we had a few number of people. They weren't giving numbers. At some point, they got confused. They skipped a few number of people to give us number. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't even ready to say, oh, this person came before us. I had my kids. They were getting tired, irritable, and all that. So what it meant, we enrolled in our name, and it cost £45 for each person to do it under their father. Bobo, can you move to the side? Mama, can you give me space? Can you give me space? It took £45 for each kid, so I did it for my 3 kids. I wanted to do mine, but they said since I've got what do you call it? This 10-digit number that they gave. Account, oh god, I've forgotten. Since I've got it, that means I've got a name, which I'm sure I have. So all they said is you can go to Coventry. There are people who are doing it there. Just trace yours and you should be able to get it. So going back again now at the Nigerian embassy, apart from these 3 forms you need to print out, I've shown you, you need a postal order, because you try to make this postal order back here in Coventry. But then we weren't sure of who to address it to. I went to the post office to ask them. They said, yeah, you can leave it blank. When you get to the place and you're sure of who to address it, you should be able to put it. But then they didn't have a postal order that day. It was on a Sunday. So I waited there in the postal office. Cost £20. But when we got to the immigration office, the guy was selling it for £25. Now, I will advise £5 into 4 is £20. I will advise you to go to the post office and do this. It's strictly addressed to pay Nigerian High Commission. Nigeria High Commission, £20 only. I will show it here. It's Nigerian High Commission, because people were saying, is it Nigerian High Commission London or Nigerian High Commission? This is clearly written here, Nigerian High Commission. So you can easily get this, address it, £20 postal order, one for each person. And then at the back, when we got there, please do not address it to anything. When you get there, they will tell you what to write, because I remember they told us, could you write your name and one other thing I've forgotten. And then you will need an envelope, a first class order envelope. I forgot to bring it around, but I'll show you probably later. Depending, because we are having 4 passports, we took a big one, but if it's only yours, you can actually do the small first class. Yes, you can. You can actually use a first class envelope, the small one, which is simply straightforward. So these are all the things you need for your personal one. Then if you're doing for your kids, now from the YouTube video I listened to, they mentioned going with, for somebody who is requesting, who is applying for Renew Passport, especially my son, they advise that we do a passport photograph. So I went to these photographers in Coventry. They asked me which embassy. I said Nigerian Embassy. They did this for him. So this is what they didn't ask for it that day, because I even understand they don't use it, but they want it just to prevent any issues. Please do this and go with it. So this is basically, I've enrolled my kids. This is basically what we got from the day we enrolled. I also got an email about this, which is basically the same thing as this, which we got the same day. One thing I didn't realize is it was this that you actually needed to go to the office with. So if we had realized, we would have gone back to the Nigerian Embassy to see if they would do this for us with this. Because after 2 days, when I asked the girl, she said it takes 2 to 14 days for them. Yes, please.
Can we have tea?
Yeah, give Bubba some too. Don't give Bubba cold one, no.
Oh, look.
Yeah, eat now. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
So you need this for each child. If you can see, I've got it for the 3 children. These there. These there. Thank you. And these there, and then these 3 of these, and then there was something else, and then they said, and this is my husband's one. Now the guy told us, because we are applying a new passport for my son, we need a consent form. In fact, I drafted a consent form from my laptop, and then we need a consent form for that child, from both parents. Now this is it, and she said we also need photocopies of of this page, biometric page or whatever. I don't know what they call it now. I've forgotten. You need a photocopy of each of our passport page, to photocopy of it that will be attached to the child's application form. And then for the consent form, 1 second, I will just try and find it. I drafted it on my laptop, which is quite easy. 1 second, guys. So sorry, it's getting a bit confused now. The consent form. Ooh. I'll just read out what I typed for this consent form for you, and then you can choose how. Yeah, it's the parental. I just did the application for Nigerian passport. This was how I typed the letter. The guy was happy with it. He didn't have any issues with it. So what I typed was application for Nigerian passport, parental letter of consent for Chimdebelum Jordan Honora. We, Mr. Raphael Chibu Honora and Mrs. Lillian Neka Honora. Remember to always put your name in full. There is nothing like Mr. and Mrs. Especially if you're, if it's a legal document. If you're buying a land, if you're buying a house, remember your name is not Mrs. Honora or Mrs. Kayode or Mrs. Honorable. Whatever, put your full name. So I've put Mr. Raphael Chibu Honora and Mrs. Lillian Neka Honora. Hereby I give our consent to the issuance of a Nigerian passport to our minor child under 18 years of age named above. We declare under penalty of perjury that all statements made in this application for Nigerian passport and supporting documents are true and correct. Affirmed. So I put my husband's name here and then put my name here, and then we dig the signatures here and wrote the date. So the guy was happy with it. There was no complaint with this letter. So basically, so that was how we went. And then because we were turned back, I actually wanted to get angry, but then I was like, because this name information thing about the kids, you won't find this information online where it's stated you need a name number for the kids for you to apply for this. But then I said, Nigerians, no, you people cannot make me angry all the way from Nigeria. I just carried my children and my husband. We went straight into, after we registered in a name, straight into the Oxford Street, which is a massive shopping area. We had fun, enjoyed ourselves, ate our French fries, drank our milkshake, and went back to National Express, come back to Coventry. So we've got everything we needed. Hopefully, we're trying to go back to Nigerian Embassy as quickly as we can, as soon as possible. Hopefully, we should be, nothing will change by then, and we should be able to get everything done. I hope my video was enlightening on all the things you need. Believe me, it wasn't depressing. We should, tell the fact. It wasn't depressing at all. It was quite the environment. Yeah, we had loads and loads of people. The only thing I'm saying is they should make the place a bit cooler. But believe me, if you're going there during winter, I'm sure it's gonna be very cold. But people were quite nice, helping out with my buggy and stuff, helping me to go up the staircase and downstairs. And purposely, you need a black pen because they'll be telling you to do a little bit of documentation. Like here, they said in each acknowledgement slip, you just write your address, your postcode, and your phone number right on the application page. So hopefully, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful the next time you are applying for your Nigerian passport. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye. If you have any questions, remember remember to subscribe to my link. I'll be downloading making other videos, not only about this. I'm in registered nurse here in the UK, and I'll be doing videos on most of my experiences, some other things that interest me like fashion, and I hope you do enjoy. Do have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Lots of love. Bye.